Today I'm going to do a range test on the boost surfing fin. I'm using it to push my 14-foot Sunfish Sailboat. This guy weighs 120 pounds, and so it's significantly heavier than any stand-up paddleboard you might use this thing with. I'm going to be using the Stand Up Paddleboard Wind thrust setting, which is kind of their highest speed, most power setting for a continuous thrust. And I'm just going to be going out to Grandma's house and back, and if it makes it there, I will be then spinning around the lake in circles until the battery goes down. I'll take a few battery measurements here and there. I am bringing my full-size kayak paddle because I do intend to run this down until I have to paddle back. And I have a Bluetooth speaker for tunes because I figure if I'm a motorboat, I might as well blare some music out over the lake. Well, the fact that I had to paddle all the way back across the lake should tell you a little bit about how that test went. I started out with a 98% battery power according to the Boost app, and I went across the lake. It took about 11 minutes to get all the way across. That's a distance of 0.47 miles, and the average speed was 3 miles per hour, and pretty much the continuous speed was 3 miles an hour. And when I got over there, I confirmed that the motor has to be out of the water for the Boost app to do a radio connection to it. So I lifted it out of the water, and it was 73% battery left. So I thought, great, I'll be able to make it back and do a lot more. And then I moved on for just a little bit longer, like 14 minutes total travel time, and that's when it just cut out. I don't know if the battery is dead or if it cut out because of a high temperature due to continuous usage, but it hasn't come back, and the Boost app shows that it's offline. So I'm going to go get the magnetic screwdriver, see if I can turn it back on and get another read from it. Interestingly, when I paddled back, my average speed of 3 miles an hour was just about the same, although my top speed was a little better at 7 miles an hour. Yep, she's dead, Jim. Okay, it's probably been 20 minutes or so since this guy turned off. It was in the water while it was running, and then I pulled it out of the water when it turned off and paddled home with it off. It feels a little warm, no warmer than I felt it while it's charging, but there is a little bit of warmth in here. I'm going to check this guy for water, how the plug worked. Looks relatively good. There's one tiny little drop in there. I'm not sure if that came in when I was taking the thing out or not. I'm going to let this sit here and dry for a while. Doesn't look like the magic screwdriver's doing anything here. So let's plug her in and see if that'll charge up or something. Alright, we have a red light now, so it's accepting power. And it is now activating. Well, let me get the... Okay. See what the Boost app says. Alright, it says I have 76% power here, so that's real close to the 73 when when it turned off. So I'm going to unplug it, see if that changes, see if I can turn it back on and off. Alright, turned it off, worked fine. Alright, applying power reset whatever was not set up there, and it says I have 73% power. So maybe it just needed power applied to be reset, and it still has 73% of the battery left. I'm going to take it back out and stay close to the dock and move around with it and see what we get. Alright, on that trip, I went 0.62 miles for about 18 minutes before the motor turned off. Was going pretty good. About 11 minutes into that trip, the motor was down to 43% power. I pulled it out of the water and got a battery reading. I thought, hey, we're doing pretty good. I'm going to go a little farther away. And I got farther away and then it turned off. I had the magic screwdriver with me. I was able to lean out over the back and try turning it on. It did not turn on with the magic screwdriver. After I put it back in the water to cool it down as I was paddling back, and so it took me only a couple of minutes, like 4 or 5, to paddle back. And then when I got back, I tried the screwdriver again and it still did not turn on. So I'm going to take it up to the house and plug it in and see if I can get it to reset. Alright, so now when I plug it in, the light does not change to red, it doesn't turn on. I'm hoping it's just some type of a temperature shut-off that's going to flip back and make this thing work again. So I'm going to give it an hour or two and we'll see what happens. It doesn't feel really warm at all. I mean, it's a little warm here, but no warmer than I've felt it when it was charging. It's got this giant aluminum heat sink in the water, so I wouldn't expect it to get too hot. Alright, it's been a while. Let's try this again. Okay, the light over there turned red, so it's accepting power. And I can turn it on now, so apparently it's some type of a timeout or a temperature type thing. And right now it says I'm at 23% battery life. So I don't know if the 2 turn-offs I've experienced are due to overheat or a low voltage on the battery, but they're not resolvable in the field with the magnetic screwdriver. It might be that you just have to let it wait long enough to time out, or it might be that it needs to be plugged into a charger to reset. I'm not sure which of those actually reset it. But essentially, I used about 75% of the total battery so far. I'm not going to go out again at 27%. That's pretty low. You're not supposed to get lithium ion below 20%. So I'm going to charge it back up. But the overall takeaway here is that I was able to go for 11 minutes to 73%, and I hit 14 minutes. So it shut down the first time at 14 minutes and 33 seconds. And then the second time I went out, I was able to go for 11 minutes, and at that point it was at 43% power. And then I went for another about 7, so I had a total of 18 minutes, and that's when it shut off the second time. And when I got it back to the house and checked the battery capacity on the meter and so forth, while it's plugged in here, it said 23%. Now it's already up to 32% as it's charging it. I think if I take the charger thing off, I don't know if that voltage there while it's charging is affecting things. Yeah, now it says 29%. So it was 27, 29%, somewhere in that range after an 18-minute session and a 14-minute session. Now, I think the battery capacity measure is less important than the, hey, it shut itself down after 18 minutes, or hey, it shut itself down after 14 minutes. I'm personally not going to trust this guy to go for longer than about 10 minutes continuously. There's Sandhill Crane family with baby.